So we are back after the break, and just to inform you, we are live on Facebook, and there are almost more than 200 likes now. I can show you some of the they are nice comments and everything. So they are basically watching our program, and taking your cue, the awareness which you were talking about before the break. I would ask Mr. Maiti that what kind of awareness programs are you basically introducing, or in your microfinance areas, what kind of awareness programs are you coming up with?
No, basically if I talk about the renewable energy, so we don't have that specific program. But there is a huge opportunity, because if you see the activity of a microfinance institution, so basically they are having two kind of advantages. Number one, the customer base. So any MFIs, they must be having more than 1 lakh customer base. So in a particular state like West Bengal, I believe that there must be around 35 lakhs of families who are attached with the different kind of MFIs. So if we use that platform to teach them about the renewable energy, how to use that, where from they will get it, I think it's a huge opportunity for everyone, number one. Number two, in other way also, I mean, there are something that can be done from the government side, like if we cover the schools through renewable energies, the street lights, that can be happen in the rural area. So that can create a lot of impact in the local community, as well as it will create the interest level also. Until unless they see something, I mean, it's very difficult to sell that. Sell means I am not talking about product selling, the concept selling. So why they will use, I mean, this kind of product until unless they see that someone, results are there. So I think these two ways it can be done. And now, like everybody is talking about financial inclusion, financial literacy, why not that kind of literacy things can happen in the renewable sector also, so that people can understand what is the importance of this and what is the impact in our daily life, and how they can, like he said, how they can save a lot of cost on this. So I think that way, if there is a partnership kind of things, either from the government side or from the service provider, right, so that will be a huge.
So like, to sum up what I asked you the question, your answer is like, my question was basically how would you use your microfinance, which is already the segment which is already existing, to create awareness. So to sum up, what would you say in a sentence in the rural
No,
areas?
if you see like microfinance, the concept of microfinance means I am taking loan from I am taking loan from banks, and I am lending it through group model, right? Okay. So there is a clear cut definition ki whom I can lend and for what purpose I can lend. Okay. So for a bank, when they are giving it to us, so it falls under priority sector lending, and so that means, so we can lend it for any kind of income generating activity like animal husbandry, embroidery, trading, anything. But I am not sure if somebody is doing something or purchasing some solar system, it will not be treated, whether it will not be treated as priority sector lending, or whether it will not be treated as microfinance lending or not. So I have to check it. But as per present scenario, I don't think that is considered as priority, microfinance lending. So that's the another challenge maybe we need to face.
Okay. But if I can just butt in,
sure.
One of the things is that today there is priority sector lending into renewable energy and solar conceptually, but what they have done is the limits are very low. The limits are very low. Okay. And I think as late as a week back, the new Power and Renewable Energy Minister, Central, has announced that they have already approached the banks and told them that this priority sector lending status to solar energy especially will be hugely augmented.
The priority sector lending is in terms of microfinance?
No, it will out of microfinance.
Once priority sector lending packet is large and it's available to the banks, then the MFIs can also access it and redistribute it through their own channels.
Okay, just to simplify for the audience. Would you like to simplify it for the audience? How?
Yeah. Basically, priority sector lending means that the rate of interest is much lower than what the banks normally charge. So therefore, the money is available at very low cost, and it can be given to those specific.
How would you link it with the microfinance part?
the microfinance institutions are taking money from the bank and they are eligible to lend it to people in groups and in rural areas through this priority sector lending mechanism, so that they can leverage and they can make it not expensive to the rural areas and even you can clarify this.
So basically PSL means priority sector lending means it's an obligation to a bank. So they have to lend around 33% under priority sector lending. So under priority sector lending, there may be housing finance, education loan and microfinance also. So if the solar system or solar energy can be incorporated renewable energy can be incorporated under priority sector lending, so then for a bank they can give maybe 2 crore, 5 crore or 10 crore money to us to lend under this renewable as a renewable microfinance loan. So that channel can be opened up.
That channel, which is a very good opportunity, I guess, if that happens at all. I would ask Mr. Bhattacharya, you had a question for Mr. Maiti, if you can ask.
Yeah, I really don't have a question. I have a couple of suggestions.
With your permission, kind permission.
Please.
Mr. Maiti, with your permission, you take it or leave it. That is, see, our company, among many other things, I talked about sustainability measurement in whichever activity a man is carrying out. I did not speak about, there are certain other things which we also do. We have, I'm giving you the background before I give my suggestions to you. The background is that our company has as many as 11 different chapters. For example, sustainable living, sustainable education, sustainable energy is definitely there because that's where Suncraft comes in to support us. Then we have sustainable living, I've already covered, sustainable education, sustainable entrepreneurship also we have as a chapter of those 11 chapters. Now, what is playing on my mind while Mr. Maiti is around is, under sustainable living, we would like to encourage people to enjoy their life and we'd like to capture their joy of living, right? So that's one aspect. Under sustainable entrepreneurship, and mind it, it's not a charitable, ours is not a charitable organization. I mean, every activity that we do, we seek revenue, of course. There's another chapter which we have is sustainable entrepreneurship. Now, you are talking about people who have to have income generating activities against which you can lend, right? Now, what we could do is that that under our sustainable entrepreneurship, what does it mean to people like people who you lend to, will be that we will be able to capture their products and help them sell their products through our digital platform, because we also have a e-commerce platform in our IT
the department, yeah,
IT,
exactly.
IT platform, right?
Yeah.
Now we have an e-commerce facility also. Now, perhaps the people who you are lending to can make use of our platform to sell their products. A. B is that while they are making what they plan to make, taking finance loan from you, can be highlighted and we can sell their what they are making to people at large who are our viewers, our subscribers.
Along your lines, as you're saying about the viewers, the Facebook Live is on, and I would obviously like to mention and draw your attention to this fact and mention here that already it has crossed more than 350 views and likes, and so it's very nice. And you should also subscribe to Energy Ensemble TV, which is also available on Cal Calling TV. And let me return back to the topic again. So other suggestions you have?
Yeah, so that's something which we can do. Now coming to your side, I mean, this part I was talking about the loanees. Now if I talk about you as a microfinance company, perhaps what you could do is you definitely have a kind of a form or questionnaire against which you expect the prospective borrowers to respond to your questions, and accordingly you have a mechanism by way of which you decide that who to loan, who to lend to and who not to. If you can, again a suggestion, but perhaps there's meat in it, that you can bring, we add to your existing set of questions or existing form a couple of parameters which talk about sustainability. Why I'm saying this, that again coming back to the observation which we all share, that the entire world is waking up to the fact that we have to have a sustainable living. Now when you are bringing, and we are trying to latch on to that concept to earn our revenue, our company's revenue, right? So as I had said earlier, that people are gradually not considering any expenses they make in sustainable area as an expense. They are making it, they are thinking it as an investment. So likewise, if you allow us, people like us, to define a couple of more parameters to your existing forms, which particularly take care of the sustainability aspect of whatever your loanees are going to do. And we also use our algorithm, our philosophy to put a sustainable index, sustainable score to your borrower's activity which he is proposing to do. Now these two together, it may additionally help you, if your policy allows you to do that, your company policy, that there's a prospective borrower out there, but whose proposed activity against which I'm lending him is going to be more sustainable based on our sustainability index than somebody else who's perhaps competing with that person to seek your fund. So both ways, on one hand, you perhaps could use our service to design your form or questionnaire so that you bring in a sustainability aspect, and thereby the people who fund you will also be more favorably disposed towards the fact that this is an NBFC company, microfinance company, who are considering sustainability also
non-banking finance.
Non-banking
finance.
And as I said earlier, that loanee, we would like to project him and his life and his products to a larger market. You help them larger market through our website. So these are the two suggestions, food for thought.
So food for thought, what is your opinion on that?
It's these are all great suggestions, but I mean, as a practitioner, so we are already doing kind of different kind of we are placing different kind of stalls so that they can interact with the ultimate buyer. So like it is also I mean, like government also focusing on this, because there are a lot of melas in the district level, so where they are putting stalls by the self-help groups or joint liability groups or the MFIs. So they can sell their products as well as they can have the interaction with the customers about their choice and also get the order from there. So I think IT could be one of the future.
An excellent work which you are anyway doing. This will be what I am saying.
Exactly.
Will be
next step.
Next step.
Complement to your.
Exactly.
I would also like to ask you on the
another point.
Yeah. So the second part, we do have this impact study components. What on a regular basis we do that. But end of the day, it's a banking business. So banking means I am taking money from somebody else, I am lending it and getting that money back, and I am paying it. So my thing is ki I have to serve all the purpose which my lenders want. So if there are some development agencies, so it cannot be whatever you said, it cannot be done by the banks. So if there are other development agencies who are lending to us, and if they have the objective, then it is possible.
Yeah. So you may have missed that one particular point which I made, that whether it's a bank or whether it's developmental agencies like your UNDP, or I don't know who all you get your funds from, whether such agencies or banks primarily. So they are also, like everybody else in the world today, are also looking up to up to anything and everything that has anything to do with sustainability.
True.
So they
Agree.
may help.
Yeah.
Not today, but tomorrow or day after tomorrow.
Yeah, really a
It
food
may.
for thought, absolutely. Mr. Maiti, I would like to ask you that what about the training programs? Because this renewable energy, this is also for you. This is open for the four of you, my guests, eminent guests. That now you need a lot of manpower for in order to go on with this and create more awareness about the renewable energy. So, what is the skill development program or the grooming programs you are undertaking? So you can start with it.
No, I already told that as a MFI we are not doing it very frankly, but yes, we are planning to do it with cooperation with or in partnership with some agency who have that skill, because my skill is in the credit program. I am not expert in other areas. So I mean now in everywhere, like if you are a normal MBBS doctor or general physician, you don't have any value. So you should have some specialization. So my specialization is microfinance, providing credit, access to the credit. But we are open to that. If there is any partner who come forward, and let's have a partnership with VFS, and we can do many things with the.
So what about your?
Yeah, I
idea on
think this is a very, very
because
good.
to carry on with this process, not only to create awareness and to, because this is for future. So to have a nice future, as you said, we need to have a beautiful. This is beautiful energy.
Yes.
We need to have a beautiful life also. So
Yes,
it's
sure.
equivalent.
Sure,
What's
sure.
your take on that?
So I think it's a very proactive approach that Mr. Maiti is offering here. That he is ready to, because they have the numbers, as he said,
You
that they
need
have
a
lakhs
lot
of
of,
people
manpower,
who
yeah.
are attached with them, and if they are available for imparting some sort of a confidence building exercise on what renewable energy and
Yeah, this is a
things
vast
can
area.
do,
We need people.
it can be done. As far as the trainings efforts are concerned, today the government is trying to do quite a bit. There are agencies, including the government of West Bengal, has avenues for imparting this training. There are, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, MNRE. They have programs linked with the Skill Development Ministry, etc., who are offering various kinds of trainings. There are institutes, like we are attached with quite a few, like the National Power Training Institute, NPTI. And there are educational
Because you need trained and
institutions,
skilled people for
even the
this, yeah.
engineering colleges and institutes. Along with them, we join as faculty, we join as workshop participants, and train up quite a few. There's an excellent program called Surya Mitra in solar, where people are trained of how to put their own solar, how to build their own
That is
solar, how
very
to
important.
install. So we have ourselves, we have been faculty, and we have conducted various programs in these. But those are, I would say, small steps, and you need much
Bigger
more
steps to
to
achieve,
do
yeah.
in this
To achieve more.
perimeter. And as a I would say, as a responsible citizen, we are very, very keen to offer more and more of our expertise
To
to
take
do
bigger
these
steps
training
to
exercises.
achieve more.
And we will do more of training.
So
more
now
and
can we have some questions from the, do you want to say something? sir? Yeah,
I am taking some focus point from Mr. Maiti. What I understand that is now priority, this particular solar is not there. But if he feels that the group or cooperatives, for example, today, if we, some schools have done already, that awareness started coming. Now, if we in a village, small village, where electricity is not there, people livelihood is very, very poor, they don't know what to do. So, not only focus that if solar is there, what happened to them? Their life standard will high. They not only house lighting or their village, their heart lighting, they can do some small scale things. Say some reading machine, some sorts of small scale industries. If such type project can develop with solar background, and that their total upliftment will be there, and that type of project can be placed to them, then that will be easier
Right.
to him to decide. The group, you are not given individual. It is a community-based development. That will, I think, that some bank,
Exactly.
actually, some bank in a international domain, they like such type of project. If community is there, it is community development, community will be beneficial in all respects. I think that type of thinking needs,
Yes.
and Suncraft is promoting, naturally solar is a very focused, and they also think this issue that okay, if we take some small project, say Purulia. Purulia is some area where is so naturally relatively West Bengal, Purulia is more brighter place, part Bakura, Mendipur, like that. So if there is commercial also, it plays a much better role. And say focus a model village and make a project, promote to them, and that will help him to decide modus operandi and list of priority can be developed. But this is the one idea I just told.
Yeah, Mr. Maiti has got so many dishes for
Right.
thoughts. Actually, it's not only food, good dishes, and I think they are good suggestions. And can we have some questions from the audience? Because I think Mr. Robin Roy is there. He wants to ask some question.
Thank you. I am taking a clue from Datta sir, as he correctly said, if the cooperative things can be formed. Essentially, in our experience, what we have seen, we have done very small 3 projects in Kuchbihar districts, where we have done, collected a kind of a local group and given a solar water pump. And around that solar water pump, what they have done, because solar water pump doesn't require to run for the entire time. Okay, so around that pump, they have created a micro entrepreneurship, means like shoeing, then making that haldi, what is called masala, all those things. Yeah. So if that can be taken care by the and if you want to scale it up, my question to Mr. Maiti, if you want to scale it up, being a partner with you, so do you think there is a prospect in our microfinance can fund there? To the tune of, the value could be to the tune of 4 to 5 lakhs only, not more than that.
Microfinance MFI can lend up to 1 lakh rupee. So any project below 1 lakh rupee, so that we can lend. So beyond that, I mean, there is a obligation by us, because by definition it is not falls under micro anymore. So, but anything less than 1 lakh rupee, if somebody wants to do that, we are happy to fund them.
Okay, means so we have to think, we have to design our program accordingly so that it suits up to the 1 lakh rupees. Okay. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you very much.
We also have someone from the ice cream industry, and I think Mr. Siddharth, you would also love to ask some question, because power is the raw material for him, and I think he has got some relevant questions.
যে আমার ওখানে ধরুন প্রায় 150 কেবিএর মতন কারেন্ট কনজাম্পশন পার মান্থ হয় আর কি, মানে পার ডে হয়। তা ওখানে আমি এই সোলার এনার্জির এটা করার ব্যাপারে এগিয়েছিলাম, কিন্তু ওখানে ধরুন জায়গার কারণে মানে অতটা পরিমাণে করা যাবে না। এখান থেকে এটার কি সলিউশন আছে আপনাদের কাছে?
He really wants to use the solar energy. So
yeah, I got his question. Yeah, basically the issue there is that it is a fact that solar energy needs space. But today the technology is advancing, is developing. So there are certain ways of even augmenting solar in a small space. There are things like solar trees available, where you can make tiers of modules, solar panels, and increase your generation. If you have certain roofs which are already occupied, we can make elevated structures and put solar even on top of everything. Even if the roof is occupied, we can still make elevated structures and put on top of them. And we can make solar trees, etc. So technology is advancing to give more power for industries like you. And I think in the future there will be more technological advancement which is coming in, where the efficiencies of solar panels are increasing day by day. So you can generate more energy in a smaller space. And in future, it's already started in some other states, and in the eastern region also it's going to happen very fast, that you need not have your own space for generating solar energy for yourself. Today there are very, very good open access policies available in other places, which will happen here also in days to come, where you can even pay or invest in a solar plant which will be located elsewhere, and the energy will be fed to the grid there, and you draw that power in your place. So that also is a perfect solution that can happen, and I think we'll very soon be able to give you much needed solution that you need.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So as sir is saying that shortage of space is not at all a drawback in order to install solar energy, or shortage of space is basically not at all a problem.
point is that, as I said in the beginning, it is a drawback to an extent that you cannot generate, you know, more power
yeah.
in a limited space.
But that would not
but
limit
some
its,
technologies
yeah.
are happening to, you know, answer that question, and you can generate in tires, you can generate in different ways through technology. And the second thing is that in the future it will become such a you know, system where you need not generate your power in this terrace. You can generate it in Sundarban
Okay.
and feed your
Outsource,
energy
okay,
there,
outsource it.
and you draw your energy here. So it's
Okay.
a matter of just calculating arithmetic that you have generated somewhere else and fed into the grid, and you are drawing from
So
another
it would
place in the
actually,
grid.
the shortage of space in near future would not limit its
Limits.
growth basically.
Yes.
So I think we all have had a wonderful time and nice interaction. I think you all would agree, my eminent guests.
Yes, of course.
Right,
Yes.
right,
Right.
Peter,
Very
yes.
good discussion.
Thank you very much, and we would sign it off here now. And as you're watching Energy Ensemble TV, that is also available on CalCalling, and amazing views and amazing responses we are getting on Facebook Live. We are there, and you also watch it, and almost we have crossed 350, as I told you, and the response is very good, and it's still going on, it's still happening. And please don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and press the bell button in order to get proper notifications. Stay tuned, be well.